Good morning, all. Hope my voice is audible to you. If I can get some thumbs up or a message on chat. Thank you. So let's start. A very warm welcome to all of you for this session. So let me introduce myself. I'm Rashmi Bijesh, the Vice President Solutions at UniTxt Pro. And this session is arranged as a knowledge sharing initiative from UniTxt Pro. So let's understand, or we will give you an introduction about UniTxt Pro. So we are an ATP and authorized training provider of Microsoft, a leading training solution provider specializing in upskilling professionals in emerging technologies such as AI, data, cloud, and automation. So UniTxt Pro is known for delivering high quality instructor-led programs designed to bridge the gap between the theoretical knowledge and the real world application. So I'll give you a brief about what are we going to explore today. So today's session is about drive AI transformation in your organization, a program focused on helping businesses adapt AI strategically, optimize the operations, and build the scalable intelligence solutions. So let me introduce you. Who's going to lead us for this session is Mr. Vijay Perepa, an experienced technology trainer, an AI specialist. He has vast 15 plus years of strong background in Microsoft solutions. He has delivered numerous corporate trainings on AI, automation, and other platforms. So he's known for his practical hands-on approach. So Vijay specializes in complex concepts and he gives this to the diverse audience. He has trained more than 1,000 plus professionals and he has successfully implemented the AI-driven solutions across the industries. So his sessions are engaging, insightful, and focused on real-world applications. So without further ado, we'll dive on to the session. But before that, I'll just give you some guidelines. So the camera and the mic will be off, but the focus and the learning mode to be on today. So let's have an interactive session. The chat box is open, the emojis, these, signs, symbols, whatever, you can give us the communication, ask the questions through the chat box. So today's session will start now till 1 o'clock. So stay tuned with us till the end of the session because post that we will give you, share with you a feedback form, which is very valuable for us. And also post the feedback, we will also guide you that how you will get, self-paced learning through the Microsoft portal, where you can get the badges, you can get the, trophies and certificate. And once you fill your feedback form with your correct name and details, we will also be sharing with you the certification, the participation certification. So without further ado, let's start the session. Over to you, Mr. Vijay.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a session which actually gives you a very good icebreaker, rather, and you can get a good understanding of generative AI and respective applications. So this actually course why you have to learn in first place. So whenever you are becoming a leader or you are already a leader, so you will be transforming several things in your organization and making sure that your organization is running smooth and helping your teams, making them understand in a better way. But how to be recognized as a transformation leader? So that is where Microsoft introduced various certifications. These are all primarily role-based certifications. So they will help you understand the topics in a very better way because the course content will be like that. And once you have that certification, easily people can recognize you that where you are actually landing and how you are doing. So the course, basically the name of the course is Exploring the Business Value of Generative AI. So as a user, whether you are understanding the generative AI, not only as a user, but as a leader, you're actually understanding the generative AI concept and their respective solutions and also guidelines and various other uh, building blocks of generative AI so that you can guide people. So, I mean, recently I have experienced one very typical scenario. I went to one organization where they have the organization is very welcoming the experimentation and trying new things kind of from their employees. They're expecting that. So that is somehow I have seen very few organizations who will do that, but that company is like that. So now when I went there, these are all finance professionals and very senior professionals. Also, the respective other teams also are in the session. The most important thing and most important question is where to start. So they have all the licenses, all the tools available, how to deal with also the guidelines were there. But the problem is where to start. So that is a major confusion. So how to apply the generative AI, whether they can use it ethically, that is another important thing. Even after using ethically, whether using it in a cost efficient manner or not. So that is where they are supposed to understand the concept of generative AI, because AI and generative AI are not same. So there are several generative AI models are available, but which one to select, what is better for your organization is going to be a very tough question. That is what they are also facing. Another thing is that costing, because as an AI leader or transformation leader, one must have a better control and make sure that they are taking proper measures, the cost, so that the cost is not going beyond budget. Another important thing is implementing generative AI is not that simple. You will have so many complexes. I mean, so many issues. You will face a lot of issues. We will be discussing them as well in detail. But out of these problems, you need to find out your opportunity, because everybody will not have the same opportunity. They will have a different opportunity based on their creativity, their organizational structure, their organizational data, and how to harness those opportunities while managing the challenges. So basically, this course is all about that. So now let us jump into understanding. So what is basically you need to get into, where to start, and then become a AI transformation leader for your organization. So let us understand some fundamentals of the generative AI so that as a business leader, you will have a better idea how to deal with it. So if you have any questions, what I'll do is in between, I'll be giving a pause and then I will ask a question. I mean, I'll ask about your questions so that you can just pitch in and add your um, message there so that I will be able to answer you. Now the foundations. So basically generative AI is revolutionizing. So it is basically helping the organizations to innovate, operate, and compete. So for business leaders, understanding the foundations of generative AI is very much important, and it will help them to unlock various new opportunities so that they can drive the meaningful business value, and then the transformation is successful. So there are two main presentations we have. The first presentation is completely theoretical, and my suggestion is keep making notes. Then what happens? It will help you to understand the concepts in a very core manner, maybe some kind of terminology. I will be trying my level best to give you the meaning of the terminology as a layman's language, but still, if you understand that particular uh, term, again, with your own understanding, later do the brainstorming, it will definitely help you. So I will be discussing in the first presentation mostly a theoretical part and a lot of idea knowledge transfer will happen. In the second presentation, we'll be doing certain practical examples as well. Few practical examples will be there. But again, it's a matter of 2.5 hours. So we will try to cover as much important topics are concerned so that you will get a better idea what exactly generative AI is, and as a business leader, how to harness the value or a business value of generative AI. So now in the first first presentation, I'm going to give you the generative AI concepts idea and what are the technologies, what are the solutions. And majorly, we are using Microsoft Copilot to understand that. Along with that, there is another one is there Azure AI and intelligent agents. Even these are also part of generative AI, but we will focus first on the Microsoft Copilot. So we'll try to understand a few practical examples when we are doing the second presentation. So that is about that is about the first presentation. So now this is the agenda of this presentation. So what is generative AI? And we need to explore the business value of generative AI solutions, then understanding the AI models, then what are the cost drivers, what are the challenges while implementing, and how to try to overcome them. While overcoming them, how to harness the opportunities as well. Now, coming to the introduction of what is generative AI. See here, we will be talking what is generative AI 2-3 times. In one place, I will not be able to discuss because this is a very vast concept. So we need to cover this in various other places. What is generative AI? We need to again and again ask this question with so many other different colorful things. I mean, color means the essence of the matter. So currently it is transforming the modern workspace. So that it is offering several new ways to innovate, streamline operations, and mostly stay competitive. So adopting a AI is very complex, but the potential return on investment is very significant. But it is not a technological upgrade. Don't think that you are actually upgrading yourself as a technically. No, it's going to be a strategic asset, and you are spending money on it. That is another important thing. You are spending money. So that it is not that, okay, you have understood the technology and you are using the tool. No, it is not the end of the story. Success is not only depending on the tool, but on the strong leadership and also a clarity, a clear roadmap. And then one more thing important is the culture, which will support experimentation and as well as the continuous learning. So that is important, right? Because when you are doing such things, experimentation will fail sometimes. So you should be ready for that, because then only you can understand while failing, what is that you are missing the opportunities, and from there you start understanding which opportunity you need to harness. So majorly we are trying to understand the productivity enhancement of tools like Microsoft 365 Copilot, and also understanding the responsible AI practices. So basically, whoever followed already means whoever actually already started using Microsoft 365 Copilot and who are already understanding the responsible AI practices are definitely getting the better value out of it. And you have already seen, maybe from your own understanding or wherever you read a blog or watch a video, you might have already understood that that is happening. But for you, where to start is the real thing. Because when a strategic manner, not that, okay, I'll jump and start something. No, not like that. But you need to start with a proper idea. So that is why this session is going to help you. So this is the agenda, and we will get into the concept. Now, the most important thing is, what is AI? We should not jump into generative AI immediately. We should understand first what is AI, because AI and generative AI are not same. AI is something we need to understand that. So basically AI is same like a human being. It actually imitates or mimics the human capabilities. For example, let us take few instances, few kind of activities what we do. For example, you have some past experience or maybe some information you have now. Based on that, you can recognize the pattern. For example, in Bangalore, in the month of May, there will be always a rain. This is a common thing most of the time. I mean, most of the time, you know that. And without even thinking, you can say that, okay, we are reaching May, we will get that rainy season. So you are ready. Or maybe in one particular place, snowfall will be there. So that is an information you have, or you have in past experience. From there, you can actually guide people and tell them this is what is happening. So that is what is prediction. You are predicting something because you know that it is happening every time. Am I audible, everyone? Somebody is telling I'm not, people are not able to hear me. Rashmi, you are able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think they
How
need to
about
check
others?
their check mic. Please check the mic, please. Otherwise, everyone is able to hear me.
Yes, we are getting thumbs up. Yes. Sabhyata, maybe you can log off and try to log in again.
So who are not able to just hear me, do one thing, just log out and log in. You will be able to hear me. Yeah. So now that information, what we are telling is called prediction. So you are predicting something. That prediction will happen using the AI. So AI can actually predict outcomes and recognizing the pattern because it has some historical data and also it is got trained on the historical data. Second one, you can actually think that, okay, something is happening, but that's supposed not to happen. It is abnormal for you, right? So that is where AI also think in the same way because the kind of neural network it is working on and it is actually trained on, it can recognize the abnormality of the events and making decisions and taking appropriate action. You can actually read a picture, understand the picture better because you see the world visually. The same thing AI will do. You can understand in various languages and you can dynamically adding the conversations. Same thing AI can do, and it can create engaging conversations. You can extract the information from various types of inputs. Can be a sound, can be, or maybe somebody is talking to you, can be a picture, can be a text. From there, you can extract the information and use it. So same thing, even AI can do that. So extracting the information from the sources and then gain the knowledge. So that is basically AI. So now we need to understand the difference between AI and generative AI. So that will give us a better idea because most of the time we think that we are using AI. No, we are not using the generative AI, but we are using the generative AI. So now AI is a set of capabilities. So that is helping computers to perform certain tasks. Earlier, the same tasks were done by human, taking a lot of time. For example, understanding the language, recognizing the image, spotting the patterns, or making recommendations. So now for business leaders, you need not understand the algorithm, but you need to understand how to harness these capabilities to deliver the real outcomes, like taking a fast decision, or you are actually giving a better customer experience. And most importantly, you are actually lowering the cost. That is more important, right? So that is where that is the foundation of AI. But we need to understand what is generative AI. So generative AI is a subset of AI. It's not, it's child of AI, but it creates a new content. Whereas AI can generate, just predict something or classify something, that's it. But generative AI is using certain content what is created already. And maybe that AI is creating the content and it is using that content and creating a new content. Can be a text, can be a code, can be an image or a video. For example, you are typing something in the chat GPT to generate one image. That is what is generative AI. So that actually gives a powerful productivity capability and creativity scenario. Now, again, that AI or generative AI capabilities can be actually segregated into three different kind. One is descriptive. Descriptive means it will describe the information, try to understand, try to search, try to classify, try to summarize. So that is descriptive. For example, I want some information from a Excel spreadsheet. So it is basically first understanding and classifying and then summarizing. So that is called descriptive capability. And the second one is predictive capability. No, that is what I'm telling you. So see, AI is a overall set. That's it. AI means a complete ecosystem. In that generative AI, so there is no difference because AI is basically the parent and generative AI is a child for it. But generative AI is with more knowledge. So let me complete the slides. You will be able to understand it. So now predictive means it will forecast and it will do the anomaly detection and it can do the scoring, etc. And it is prescriptive. That means it is going to recommend and optimize. So basically, whatever the activity you are doing, it will be broken into three different capabilities. One is descriptive capability, then predictive capability, then prescriptive capability. So now another important thing is while using the generative AI, you need to understand the responsible AI. So what is responsible AI? Basically designing and using AI with an accountability and reliable and safe and more transparent and secure. Why? Because you can actually generate very realistic information, which is not really not necessarily be real. That can mislead people, or maybe that will actually violate the privacy, which is going to be very harmful. I mean, not only for them, but for the user also. Maybe I am creating one image and that image I'm just simply publishing in the public forum and there is a copyright violation. People are asking me and actually asking me, please remove that or maybe taking an action on me. So I need to understand what is responsible AI. So what are the responsible AI practices so that I can make sure that I'm using the content. In the meantime, I'm protecting myself, my customers, and my employees, and also my brand as a business leader. So that is what is the uh, responsible AI coming into the picture. But initially, I'm giving you a few ideas. Don't worry, but we will be getting into more deep dive and we'll try to understand. Now, this is what basically. So what is AI? It's a software that can mimics the human behavior and understands the data and it can predict, it can do some analysis. But whereas generative AI, whatever data already used by AI, that will actually create a new content. That is generative AI. Now let's understand few more terminology. That is the AI foundation. Now for that, you need to understand basically what is machine learning and what is data science, etc. Now the current AI, whatever you are using now, the modern AI is an very old concept. I think some 50 years where people are already started working, but as on date, the modern AI is built on data science and also machine learning. So this will help us to automate the tasks and it is just like a human intelligence it is giving us because it is just mimicking a human capability. So now the goal of the business leader is not mathematics or algorithm, but whether it is reliable or repeatable in terms of value so that we can take faster insights and better decisions and more efficient operations. That is what as an AI leader you need to see. Now, what is data science? Now, data science is actually combining several fields and that combination of fields can turn the data into actionable insights. For example, you can combine statistics, then you can combine engineering and some domain expertise. So to define the problems and preparing the data and evaluate the outcomes. So that is basically kind of training model, right? So in most organizations, basically this data science is run by or led by data scientists so that they can validate the AI solutions. That is basic understanding of data science. But what is machine learning? So machine learning is set of techniques. So that is basically letting the entire system to learn the pattern from the provided data and make predictions and classifications. So it will understand the more relevant, more qualified or quality data based on the data you provide, and then it will give the results. So that means what kind of data you are giving is also important. Based on that, what kind of result it will give you also depends. For example, machine learning examples are two. Again, this is part of generative AI. It's part of AI. Okay. We are not talking about generative AI now. It's part of AI. Somebody asked me, what is the difference between AI and generative AI? Let us understand first AI. In your Gmail, AI is already installed. For example, in your banking system, the AI is already installed. For example, I have an email and that has gone to spam. Sometimes we say, right, please check the spam. Reason, machine learning is identifying that basic signals of that text, what is coming as an email. It can be a suspicious word or it can be a unmatched link. That means your email is showing at info@microsoft.com, but the background link is actually not Microsoft. So they are mismatching. So basically it is understanding the pattern and the suspicion because it has a lot of training already. That is filtering it as an unwanted message and putting into the junk mail. So you can't act it until unless you bring it to your box. Obviously, you don't do that if it is not the right one. So accidentally, some messages may fall into this category because again, AI is not going to give you always a right thing. So sometimes you should be careful. That is called responsible AI. Now, for example, a credit card for fraud detection. Suppose I have basically I live in one single place and I purchase my do normal credit card purchase within that location only, almost 1 year. Suddenly, one payment shown from the credit card in a very different location. Definitely, you'll get a email, or you get a call, right? So that is also machine learning. So that is how the machine learning will help AI to understand the thing. And whatever the capabilities already AI is giving, generative AI will generate a new content. Now it is giving a natural language answer to you. So AI is giving just what happened. That's it. AI is doing, okay, email, put it to the spam. But generative AI will tell you that I'm putting this into spam because this is the problem. That is the difference between AI and generative AI. Now, apart from that, you need to understand one more important thing called deep learning. This is the generative AI capability. So basically, it is a subset of machine learning. So it is using the neural network. Basically, we call it as layered neural network. It will discover the complex patterns, especially from the unstructured data. Can be an image, can be a text, can be audio. Majority will take one image example. For example, I will supply a lot of scan reports to the AI tool I'm using. I mean, a model I'm using. And it will read several images from whatever the data I provided. Now it is actually understanding the pixels, every pixel very clearly. And based on the classification of that document, it is understanding, okay, this pixel is a wrong cell or not it's a bad cell. And this is a good cell. So it will understand the various behaviors and patterns in that image. And once it is done, it will be able to read any other image. And then it will find out, okay, now that pixel which I read earlier with my training and the pixel what I'm now seeing in the image are same. It is basically a bad cell. This is causing a problem to the patient. Otherwise, no, this is a good cell. So this is going to do any problem to the patient. So basically, it is doing that kind of analysis. That is called the deep learning. So majorly you are using unstructured data to use this deep learning. So that is how these AI foundations need to be understood. So any questions? Okay. So now when you are using the so basically AI, you need to turn the capability to outcome. For that, you need to follow some certain steps. One is you need to understand the business problem yourself clearly, because you are telling somebody, AI is somebody, let us say. You're telling somebody, so when you are telling the problem, your problem should be very clear to you, first of all. So you need to start with a basic, proper business problem. Then you need to give the data also. If you are giving a contextual data or training data, whatever data you are giving, you need to make sure that the data quality is good. Then you need to first plan it. There is an option to plan it. So planning the operation, right? Then not that, okay, this is done, AI will do everything. No, you need to keep the human also into the loop, so that whatever the outcome is coming, so that the expertise is coming from the human also, then they can judge it better for few scenarios. And you need to test it. Basically, with the real data sometimes, because whatever the result is coming, whether it is matching with your real data or not, you need to do that, because end of the day, you cannot simply rely on the final outcome of the AI as it is. So there are two types of settings are there. I mean, testings are there. One is A/B testing and ABN testing. A/B testing means basically comparing two different results. ABN testing is comparing two results, and the second result or first result may be several times. N means the number of uh, test objects. Like say A can be several times, B can be several times. That is ABN testing. So that you can validate that, it will give you a better impact. So that is about the AI foundation. So why I'm actually trying to give you this idea. See, these are all important topics. Without understanding this, if you go to the because I'm talking about now in a while about models also, you will get an idea. Okay, which model for what and all. Then you can take it forward in a right direction. That is the reason. Let us understand the basics and make a note whenever possible. That will help you to recollect later when we maybe want to do some kind of brainstorming for yourself. You will be able to do. Now again, I'm going to what is generative AI. You may ask me why are you going several times, because we have to go to several times where what is generative AI, because we need to understand in different ways. So generative AI is basically representing the core artificial intelligence AI. That is what we discussed. Now, traditional AI systems are actually designed to analyze the data, classify information, and make predictions. Whereas generative AI is giving you new content. It is generating a brand new content. There is another problem. Every time, whenever you ask a question, it will give the new content in a different way. That is the complexity. I'll come to that in a while, how to overcome that, right? So because generative AI is not just giving the answer, it is giving a new answer. Suppose I write the same question two times. I'll get the answer two times in two different ways. That is going to be confusing you. So how to overcome that and how to make sure that it at least give me two, three times the same answer reliably, that is what you need to understand. So that is where how to control the generative AI thing you need to understand. But before that, we need to understand that it creates a new content like a text, image, audio, or code. Now, for example, you have to write a very nice marketing copy, or you want to summarize some lengthy report. You can use the generative AI. You can create product designs and You can actually you can create some creative customer support responses. And also you can create images and videos for training purpose or something. Maybe you want to give some your people, even that also you can do. So at that time, you need to understand the concept of large language models and small language models. So what is large language model and what is small language model? Large language models are broader capabilities, the very compelling capabilities. Whereas small language model is basically to use the semantic understanding of the prompt or maybe the content is given. So, for example, let us say I heard a dog is barking at a cat. Now, LLM, that means large language model, is not only understanding the sentence and words and the dog, cat, bark and all, but it is understanding the semantic meaning of this text. For example, here dog is superior than cat. So it is basically trained, the LLM is trained in such a manner using the tokenized mechanism that here dog is the superior one and cat is the next level. So dog only can bark on the cat, but not cat other way. So that is what the training happens in the LLM. That is what is LLM's task. LLM will not only understand the data as it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or ABCD, no, not alone that. There is a semantic meaning of every content and every word or every line or every sentence. It will understand that semantic meaning. So it is basically, we call it as a contextual relationship. So here there is a context. The context, dog has a context, cat has a context, and dog is doing something when it is looking at the cat. So that is what is the semantic relationship. So now it is predicting, and then it is understanding what could be the next word, because dog only can bark on the cat. So now what has to be? Suppose you have to write with cat. Cat is running away after looking at the dog. So this can understand, because it is understanding the semantic relationship very easily and understand the sequence of words and then generating the final outcome in a natural language and giving you a sensible answer. So it is actually converting each word into a token and it creates a token ID. So now based on the token, the model is actually getting trained to understand the concept. So that is what is the LLM. Now SLM, that means small language models for specific scenarios, like some kind of structures. Again, the kind of relationship between dog and cat, if you have to define, or maybe you wanted to give a color of apples, those can be given in the small language models. I have a green apple also, I have a red apple also, and I have some apples with different patches. So those also will go to the small language models. And there is one more model is there, that is called multi-modal model. So which can handle text, image, and speech also. So now let us come back to the traditional AI again. Traditional AI is building custom models and specific predictions, that's it. But generative AI using those pre-trained models, and also they are trained on the internet scale. That means it is given a lot of search data as well. And then it can generate the content based on the user prompts. So when you are giving a prompt, it is giving an answer. So generative AI is relying on the natural language input. So that is what you are doing when you are using the chat GPT. Now, when you are actually trying to give a generative AI input, so first of all, you need to understand how should I work with generative AI. So when you are actually, simply in a very simple terms, when I'm writing a prompt, what should I write? One is contextual understanding. Second is the scalability and efficiency. And then whether it can work with the text, image, code, etc. or not. So when you are using any tool, so how the generative AI works, you need to know. So that is a major innovation behind the generative AI. So we call it as transformer architecture. So what is transformer architecture? I mean, there is an English already there for that, but I wanted to translate that into very simple meaning. Transformer architecture means the AI which can read a paragraph very quickly and understand your question in that quickness only and giving you answer with a new content. That means it is generating the answer in a more nice way with a new frames or new verbs or maybe new sentence or new words it is adding and giving you the answer back is called transformer architecture. That is what generative AI does. So that architecture is already there. So that is what the transformer architecture requires contextual meaning. That is what it has got a contextual understanding, and it is scalable and efficient, and it is very versatile. It can work with several domains. Now you may ask me, so what are the business applications can use generative AI? I mean, there is a big list, but majority, when you are talking about Microsoft Copilot, majority are marketing, customer service, finance, healthcare, and manufacturing. So these are the areas you will get more intuitive outcome using the generative AI. So any questions? Okay. So I'm seeing there are no questions. So let's jump into the next one. Now, uh, yeah, Microsoft generative AI solution, since it is very specific to Microsoft, so you need to understand what are those Microsoft AI solutions we have. So now uh, we need to explore because that is where the confusion, right? Suppose, for example, I went to that organization where I want to teach people about generative AI. Where to start? What to use when they do not have any understanding? Because I mean, they have just started. Definitely, they are all finance folks, do not have any technical understanding. And they called me only because of that. So obviously, but it's my responsibility to tell them how to deal with it. So we have certain Microsoft generative AI solutions. These are all part of generative AI, and it has a big portfolio in terms of business requirements and challenges. So you can see, for example, Microsoft Copilot is an embedded Microsoft 365 app, basically. It is a free tool, basically. It is coming along with your Microsoft 365 license, and there is no additional cost. It is a bundled cost. So since you have taken Microsoft 365 maybe license, along with that, the Copilot is part of that. So this application, it will help us to summarizing, writing, and analyzing the data. I can draft an email. I can create a presentation. I can summarize team meetings. I can create a video. All these things can be done using Microsoft Copilot without having any additional cost. But it has got several other subsections. We'll discuss about them later. So only talking about the very fine above layer, the fine layer of Microsoft Copilot. This is a big picture, but inside that several things are there. We'll discuss that in a while. But basically, it is part of your Microsoft 365 basic license, but beyond that, what happens, we'll discuss in a while. Next is Azure AI. Now, why Microsoft Copilot and Azure AI? See, Microsoft Copilot is a predefined or pre-built. That means you need not do anything, and deployment time is very less, and you can manage things easy. So you don't have any extra capability requirement. So you can just click, drag, and your job is done. That is where Microsoft Copilot will work. But whereas Azure AI will go to the next level. There you are doing some activity or customizing things. So for example, you have Azure OpenAI service, then machine learning and cognitive services. These are the solutions. So for example, in the cognitive services, you have an option called document intelligence. I'll give one example of the document, and my Azure AI can actually understand that document. Based on that, whenever you supply any document, a printed document, it will understand the document and spits the entire information from that document without any hassle. That is Azure AI. There, you need to know how to customize it. There is some coding expertise is required, and some cost is involved in it. And also it is not always bundled, and the cost is always recurring. So you need to understand. That is Azure AI. So the Azure AI is basically to create chatbots, then documentation, automation, or personalized experiences. Suppose you want to update a custom chatbot in a website, better to use the Azure AI. So that is second one you need to understand, but cost is involved. Next is GitHub Copilot. So this is majorly to write the code. You have a GitHub Copilot, you need to experience that. When you go to GitHub Copilot, you can actually activate, there are two things. One is Copilot Chat and Copilot. And then you can actually learn entire any one programming language without taking anybody's help. I mean, if you are not knowing much about coding, right? So there you can simply ask a question. GitHub Copilot can give you an idea, and it's a free tool. I mean, you need to have one GitHub account, which is also free of cost. I think almost 500 completions. I will tell you what is the meaning of completion also. It is free in a month. That means after 500 completions, you need to wait for the next month. But I don't think 500 completions are going to be very consumed very immediately until unless you write some complex coding. But GitHub Copilot is to develop the code. I mean, developer for developers and also non-developers as well, to generate a faster code and with some suggestions. You can plan it. You can create agents there also, but it is mainly for coding. It is to just creating applications, automating the workflows, generating dashboards. It will be useful there. Then another Copilot is Dynamics 365 Copilot. See, I'm discussing all the products available within Microsoft. It is not that any one product. So Copilot is everywhere. So you need to understand where and all you have. So basically, Dynamics 365 is a CRM. So that you can actually enhance the CRM and ERP workflows with AI. For example, you have in Dynamics 365, there are different modules are there. Like you have a sales module, you have a finance module, all those modules are there. So you want to do the sales forecasting, you can do that. And also you can customize the or automate the customer services using Copilot in Dynamics 365. And then you have Power Platform. You might be knowing a little bit about already Power Apps, right? So in Power Apps, Power Platform Copilot is working very extensively. You can create one application by just one click and your app is ready. So that is how you can do this. Let me do one thing to create some interest. I will showcase, I mean, Azure AI, currently I don't have a license, so I will show you the old license, an example. GitHub Copilot, I'll show you. And also I'll show you the Power Platform Copilot as a small sample. Maybe that will give you kind of a boosting and also a kind of encouragement. So let me share my screen and start with first Microsoft Copilot. Hopefully you can see my screen completely, and you can see that you have Copilot icon. So whenever you normally nowadays, whenever you purchase a laptop, Copilot is already enabled. So this is the basic Copilot, but there are several others. But I discussed that in a later slide. But how to use Copilot? I'll just select Copilot. So this is the free Copilot along with your Microsoft 365 license. And after that, you have Microsoft Copilot for applications and then Copilot Studio. There are three. So now if I jump into Copilot, I can ask a question. So I would like to send one email. And before that, I will write like this. You are reporting to CFO and you are a data analyst. I would like to send in one email to the CFO about my recent financials. Give me a sample message format. I don't want to complicate it. I'm just simply writing. So this is what we are giving a context. And also I'm giving, this is basically, we call them as basically the system prompting. We call this particular thing which I have highlighted is called a system prompt. And this is custom prompt or user prompt, right? System prompt will actually set up the basic uh, role play context, and then user context will give what's supposed to be there. And then accordingly, the answer will come nicely. And if I click on that, it is generating and giving me so that here is the professional email. So now it is giving you an idea how to write an email. So now it is giving you, because you have said you are telling you are the data analyst and you are talking to the CFO. You should be careful while writing it, and it's giving the answer. Not only that, it is giving the numbers, but it is giving how to do the variance analysis, etc. Of course, you can now supply. Now, this is the basic context. Generative AI can remember the context, the previous context, because it has to continuously do it. So at that point of time, it will, when you ask another question, it will not just read that question first. It will actually read that with the dotted lines of this previous question and its answer. It will give you the answer easily. So that is how it will get a scenario. So you need to understand how to use it. This is called basic Copilot. And also I can use another Copilot inside my Excel or PowerPoint. If I go to any blank Excel, I have Excel. You need to have a Copilot license, and this is a license. It is not free of cost. It is not coming with your Microsoft license. It is not free of cost. You need to separately purchase a subscription, but it is again bundled. It will, you are not losing any extra money on it. Whatever you are supposed to use, you can use it continuously. So now I can simply ask a question. Show me one complex VLOOKUP example. Later, I provide you the data. So I'm not providing you the data now. You give me the example. I mean, this I purposely written later I provide you the data because it will remember the context. And then it will try to later, if you give a data, you need not tell that I'm giving a data. You already told. So it will take the data and understand it. So that is how you can use it. This is called the second Copilot, which is available. I mean, the Microsoft Copilot available as a licensed version. It's a subscription. Now it is just simply giving me some information, and it is created a example, but it's still working. See, basically it is giving me the data now. So lookup section, enter employee ID below to give get the details. So, I mean, I have not done anything. So it is actually now still working and it will do the work. So we'll come back to this later. So that is how you can use the Copilot with a subscription. And you have Copilot Studio. If I just jump into my browser, Then I can go to Copilot studio.microsoft.com. And then it is opening up the website. Now this is a proper different standalone license. It is not part of your Microsoft 365. You need to purchase a Power Platform license. So this is a separate standalone license, and it's again a subscription license, but it is a standalone license. So this is a separate mechanism where you can create a workflow, you can create an agent, and then you can do. It is an agentic AI. It is not normal generative AI. It's an agentic AI. So that is how the Microsoft Copilot. Now let me go to my next one, Azure AI. So if I go to my portal.azure.com, so this is a separate service. So when you go there, this is a subscription model. We call it as pay as you use. Let it open. Now I have one already. I've activated one document intelligence. You can see that. So if I click on the document intelligence, and then I've created one instance called my name instance. Now this is basically creating one document intelligence. If I click on the document intelligence studio, so for that I need to follow certain workflow and I need to provide some document, give a training. So now there you can see that document intelligence, it's a proven solution optimizing the speed and consistency, dependable accuracy. It'll understand the content, multimedia, multimodal, that is uh, multimodal model. We discussed that, right? So basically Azure AI is a multimodal model and it'll understand the information, unlock intelligent content processing with Gen AI, lower cost and all. So now this can be used. And there are certain free models also there, but yeah, you need to understand how to use it, where to go. So that is, I want to show you where to go and do it. Now, if I click on the, I need to just sign in and then I need to start using it. So what it does, it will not take too much time from you. It'll ask you, give me one sample document. Let me read it. And accordingly, I will remind documents, I'll read for you and I'll generate the outcome. But here, another thing is that you should be a code user also. It will generate the data in a Python, or it's a basically generate data in a JSON format. And you need to know how to extract the JSON format and get the real outcome. Of course, there also you can use the AI thing, but this is called Azure AI. Now, GitHub Copilot. For that, I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. So when I go to the Visual Studio Code, so I'm using free Visual Studio, free Copilot Studio as of now, because I have passed my subscription, so I'm not getting any credits. The by default 500 completion credits are available. So that is what I'm using actually. So now you need to actually activate the agents. The Copilot. For that, you need to go to extensions and you need to search for Copilot. Now this will give you one Copilot, another is Copilot Chat. So GitHub Copilot and also GitHub Copilot. I think now they have integrated both. Earlier it used to be two different extensions. Now it is coming as a one. First you need to earlier download the GitHub Copilot, then you need to activate the GitHub Copilot Chat. But I think it is coming for only this one I'm talking about. There are several other places you have Copilot is there, but I'm not looking at that. This is what you need to use. Once you have done it, you will be added with one agent. Now, when I go to the agent, now I can start. You can see there are several icons are available. So there you can see that it is an agent. And also you can use different models. For certain models, I need to basically upgrade because currently not there. So it is not accurate because I'm using a free version. And also there are other options are there. You can actually use the local and you can use the CLI, you can use cloud, you can use cloud. And there are other options also I've activated. But currently I'm just going to the normal thing. So now I can start working with certain questions, right? I can ask any question, it give me the answer. So for my YOY analysis in SQL, what is the, I mean, I can give you're a data analyst and all, and just, you know, that I will see that later, but I'm just giving quickly one question. What is a SQL query? Now, it might ask some questions. It might ask some questions to you, and then it might give answer also sometimes. Now you see, it is giving the answer. It's telling how to write the code, and basically it is telling order date, amount, total amount, which you need to replace and write your code easily. So Copilot is majorly for creating a code. So that is why GitHub Copilot is used. Now I will show you the next one, Power Platform Copilot. For that, I need to jump into the Power Platform. So for that, let me go to this might have an issue. Yeah, I think it's not open. There is a license issue. I'll open an incognito window. And I'll just add my email ID. Password is different. 1 second. Give me 1 minute. I simply have changed the password, but I didn't remember that. It is strange. Let me open another license. This is not opening. Uh, Now I can ask a question to the co-pilot. So this is generate. Generate means generative AI. So let me jump into Power Apps. There I can simply ask a question. So I'll fire to create. Now create from blank and you have several options. So you can say, I think it's there in the main screen only. Start with data, start with plan. So where is that Copilot thing? Recently they have changed the interface. So split screen sidebar, click blank. It's not that. Load. Very strange. It should be available. They have recently changed it. Apps. I have activated the vibe coding. That is the reason it is not showing me. But you have an option to think. So I'll just start with a plan. And then I need to create a new plan. Create a plan. Then I'll describe what exactly I want. Uh, I am from HR and I look at um, employee leave management. Get me an app which can give me a better control. I'm not telling anything. I'm just typing better control. So now it can, one, based on the question, it will generate if it understands. Otherwise, it will ask you the questions. Now, business problem is this requirements it is actually giving you. As a user, I need to apply for leave. No. So HR manager, person responsible for, as a user, I need to review. So that basically it is giving the complete structure and it is giving an idea. So this is again generative AI. And once I'm good with it, I can say looks good. Otherwise, I can go and edit. If I click on edit again, I can describe further what I'm supposed to do. Suppose I apply leave, view the status, check my leave balance, cancel or modify the leave. HR manager will review, track, all those things can be done. Now it is good. I click on looks good. Now you see there are several agents are coming, not one agent. There are multiple agents are working in the background. That is the scalability. So it is scaling on its own whenever it is required. Now it is creating the thing. So employee leave application tracking, and then you can see that view process. So it will give you the complete process, what you're supposed to do. And then it is looks good. And it is creating tables because it has to have some, at least some structure. And then these tables will be saved in the new solution. And it is creating a new solution, new package also. And then other things also it is doing, which I can go back and see whatever I want. And this is the structure. So this is a flow basically. Employee leave. So now if you look at employee checks leave I'm sorry, let it be there. So employee accesses leave balance. This is another process. Employee checks leave balance. Employee wants to apply, employee wants to view, and employee only wants to say check leave balance. There are different scenarios, and then what need to happen, who will do what, everything is mentioned here. And then you can just click on create. So your tables have been said, create a customized object, hover the create. Just click on the create. I think it's not the place. Let me go back and I can see there is an option to create it. Done. Overview is done. Should be able to get the button create. Still, I need to edit 1 second. Let me see that. I'm good. View the process. Some reason I'm not getting the detail create button, but yeah, we'll find that create button later and create it. So this is the Copilot Studio. Now you have several ways I have shown you. All are generative AI related. So one is I've shown you the Microsoft Copilot, where I've shown all three types. Another is I've shown you Azure AI. There you can use the document intelligence. GitHub Copilot to create the code, and Power Platform Copilot is to create a application by just asking a simple question. So that is how you can do the needful. So if anybody have any questions, please do let me know so that we can go to the next slide. All are clear with this till this? Any questions? Uh,
There's a question from Omar, Mr. Vijay.
Quantum computing is not part of this course. So that is a different path, learning path. So in this case, we are not using any quantum. Basically, this course is to make you as a specialist or a business leader knowing the generative AI. So the basic questions will be answered in this course, that where to start, what is model, what is prompt engineering. These things will be only discussed. Quantum computing is not part of the course. Computer visioning is going to the Azure AI. Then you need to learn Azure AI. So in Azure AI, you have a cognitive services. In cognitive services, you have a those things, right? No, MS Copilot is several use cases, not only a simple use case. Use case means, see, MS Copilot has got three layers. First layer is the free Microsoft Copilot, which will be along with your basic license, where it will create it will give an answer to you, or it will create an image, or it can create a basic agent, or it can create one video presentation, these things. This is the first layer of Microsoft Copilot. Next is Microsoft Copilot for applications. So that is where you are taking a subscription and then using it within the Microsoft applications like Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, etc. You can generate documents, you can generate presentations, you can generate analysis, all those things within Microsoft applications. That is Microsoft Copilot Chat. First is Microsoft Copilot Chat. Second is Microsoft Copilot for applications. The third one is Copilot Studio, where you can create agents to do various specialized activities. For example, a chatbot for your HR questions and answers, or maybe your related business questions answers, or maybe related to expense questions and answers. I mean, expense submission questions answers. These are the use cases. I mean, whichever a repetitive task, whichever the human interface, human interference is not required repeatedly, that is your use case. So from there, you can use these applications. There, you don't need to have any knowledge of generative AI at all. You can actually simply click, drag, and you need to understand your business plan. You need to how to write a code. I mean, how to write the prompt. That is enough. Rest it will be taken care. Is that clear, Manoj? Are you clear? Any other question? Or is it clear now? We can proceed. Okay. So now let's jump into the next presentation. So you're trying to understand the next one. So now, no, no, we are not going to that level. See, a video editing, which best tool? There are several tools are there. So even Claude has got a different tools, but we are not discussing that. I mean, because this course is not towards that, right? This course is understanding the business value of generative AI and the technicality and the business leader point of view. That's it. We cannot go beyond that because we have a limited time and the concepts are, we are actually surrounding within, right? So that is a general subject we can discuss sometime later. But yeah, currently we are understanding the how to get the business value from generative AI. This is the topic we are sticking to. Okay. Now, we need to understand that agents now. So in how the agents are used in generative AI. So agents means you are actually generating them with some certain instructions and giving a knowledge base and making sure that they're getting some extra information from you and giving you the outcome. So they are very intelligent and task oriented, and they are separate entities, not only from the point of just chatting, but they are beyond that. They can chat. They are also chat. They will also chat, but they will do very specific chatting. For example, look at Microsoft Copilot Chat and Microsoft Copilot Studio Agent, or Microsoft Copilot Normal Agent also. These two are not the same. Microsoft Copilot Chat is general chat. We can ask anything and you can get anything, but very general perspective. There is no knowledge base from your side. Chat is using its general knowledge and giving the answer to you. But when you create a chat agent, that is Microsoft Copilot agent, the agent will be given a specific uh, kind of information, a knowledge base, how to react, what to answer, what not to answer, everything is already given. So at that point of time, that agent is actually will give you the answer. Now there are two types are there. One is pre-built and another is customizable. That is what we are understanding. So now in the Microsoft Copilot, majority is pre-built. So they are ready to use AI assistants, and they can be embedded into the Microsoft applications, and they are basically to automate certain common business tasks and delivering the immediate value. So there is no time requirement of deployment. You need not deploy them. So they will automate your routine tasks and they will assist with writing and summarizing and interacting with your um, natural language. Basically, you can write a natural language. They are for rapid deployment. That means you can simply click a button and deploy them. And you will get the productivity also very immediately and requires very minimum setup. You don't require to do a lot of setup activity. You need to do the coding, etc. Not required. And there is no special cost is involved. For example, you are drafting an email within the Outlook. Agent is already there. And you want to summarize some meetings in the Teams. Agent is already there. So these are the agents which are pre-built agents where no cost is required. So when you are using Microsoft Copilot, is a pre-built agent. But when you're using agent in Azure AI, that is where you will talk about the customizable, flexible, enterprise grade. That means those agents are enterprise level agents. They are built on Azure and they are actually customized for your organizational data or process or any other specific goals. Now, these tailored agents can be created using their business process mapping and also business data they can give, and also even the compliances. For example, certain agents to talk in a very compliant manner, those compliances can be given to them and they will talk accordingly. They will do the activity accordingly. So that is Azure AI. So they are actually customizable and flexible agents. Now, customizable agents can like a advanced chatbot, we can say, or you can automate the document processing, or you can actually create some complex workflow orchestration. Those things you can do. So if you want an agent very speed, and I don't want to spend money, but I want very quick, then you have to use the pre-built agents. But I know I can go for a extra cost and I'll deploy certain people to do it. Then customizable agents will give you more business. But again, depend upon your data. You have a complex data, complex requirement, and more customized scenarios if you have, then you have to go for this flexible agents, that is Azure AI, that is customized agents. Otherwise, you need to go for the normal regular agent, that is pre-built agents in the Microsoft Copilot. So that is how it works. Let us take some scenario based. For example, I want to create one, what do you call, marketing campaign. So there, Azure AI is very beneficial to you. So now Azure AI can give you, will allow you some localized product descriptions, and even certain markets you can select. Based on that, it uses its general knowledge along with your knowledge base, what you gave, and it will give within days. But if you start doing yourself manually, you will take weeks. So that content, whatever you have received, you can refine it in very quick manner using the Microsoft Copilot. So here you are combining both together. One, you are creating the content using the Azure AI. Then it is giving some localized outcome, maybe some different markets, and it is giving one final outcome that you are further fine tuning and making more readable and more beautiful using the Microsoft Copilot, which is a free tool. So one, you are getting the knowledge also, idea also. Two, you are making it more readable and you are making it much, much faster because fine tuning is also is required. So that is where you will be using the thing. Even that can be used for personalizing the customer support, then document summarization, right? And so many other places you can use it. So that is how you can understand. But first of all, when you are considering the generative AI solutions, you need to focus on three questions. One, what is the problem? And what kind of solution will solve this? And what are the outcomes we require? And then whether whatever my final goal is there, whatever outcome is coming, is it actually mapping or aligned to my strategic goals? So you need to understand the pain points. Like, for example, I have very high cost or certain inefficiencies are there, or maybe my process is very slow. So that is what is that problem for which I need to give a solution? Then I need to understand whether I need to improve the speed because it is very slow, whether it is very high cost, that means I need to find out the cost saving, or maybe I'm inefficient because of there is no customer satisfaction. So how to improve the customer satisfaction by innovating some new thing. So that is your outcome. Then your solution, whatever the solution is coming, whether it is finally mapping to your organizational priorities, and most importantly, the compliance. That is another important thing nowadays. And those things you need to question yourself. So for example, I mean, if I want to just summarize these things. So suppose if I wanted to create one customer support automation, I will use Copilot and Azure AI services both. In case of even marketing and content generation also. Or maybe for data summarization also, I use OpenAI services. But again, when I wanted to use marketing content generation, I will use cognitive services. If I want to use the data summarization, I will use AI document intelligence that I will use. So again, depends upon the requirement or business need, your solution type will be different. Suppose I want to generate the code, then I use the GitHub Copilot. Suppose I want to create some visual content creation, that is I will use Azure AI. And then if I want to do a multimodal interaction, again, Copilot and Azure AI, that is multimodal, that is document intelligence is one of the multimodal service. You can use that. So accordingly, you can manage the show. Now we need to understand the generative AI models, and when to use what model is another important. That is another big question, because every model will have its own capability, will have its own feasibility as well, right? So you should not be using every model for everything. Maybe your activity is very low benefit related. So use such a model where you are not spending too much of money. But whereas your model is very critical, then you have to use a different model. Suppose your thinking should be more ambitious, then you will use a different model. So there are separate models for every activity we are discussing about it. Now the key differences from the traditional AI. What is that? When you are using the generative AI models, traditional AI models are actually building only custom models for predictions. That's it. But generative AI is using those trained models already wherever the data is and a model is done. They are actually generating the response, a new response, more than what the traditional AI is giving. Now, generative AI applications are relying on the natural language input, but how they understand that? So that is where you need to understand which model will do what kind of activity. So there are different forms are there, different models are there. All those models are trained for different activities. So now let us understand the model type, because again, not only just long, long large language models, but also there are other models are there. So let us understand what are the other types of models. We have large language models, LLMs, code models, diffusion models, multi-model models, then domain-specific models. There are 5 types. Please make a note. So that is what I have given you in the screen as well. So what is large language model? It will generate and understand the natural language text. So now what are the use cases? Chatbots, summarization, content creation, and you have GPT, you have Claude, you have Gemini. These are large language models when you are talking something and getting some answer. Then code models, for example, you want a specialized programming and code generation need to happen. There you will have a code completion will be there and debugging also. Sometimes you want to debug the code as well. Then you will use a codex inside the GPT. There is another is there. You can download the codex, that is also free, and you can use the codex to generate the code. That is available along with the GPT. If you have a GPT model, if you just go there, it will give you the codex option. But I think codex is only free when you have a GPT licensed. Otherwise, codex will not be available directly. So it's basically a kind of a extra extension for a paid chat GPT extension. But yeah, so that is a model. Then you have diffusion models. When you are generating image from a text prompt, then diffusion models are used. For example, DALI, or there is, I think, some model is there, stable diffusion or something. Then that also can generate. But again, even Gemini is combined with all these. You have that because it's using all these models. That's what I'm telling. Gemini is using these again, these all models. That is why it is giving you the outcome, multimodal outcome. Then multimodal model means handle multiple input types. For example, it can handle text, it can handle image, it can handle audio. So that is basically Gemini, ChatGPT. These are basically the multi-model models. Even since Copilot used the GPT-4 model also, even you can take ChatGPT as well. Something happened. Some voice is coming. Okay, not a problem. So now that is how you need to understand. Now tell me, now question to you, you have to give me the answer. Okay. I will give you the business objective. Tell me, you have to, which model you have to use. Now this is a kind of a question time. Now I want to automate customer support. So what I have to use? Anyone? Which model I have to use? So any answer, guys? I'm using generative AI for automating customer support. So which model I have to use? What kind of model? So I have already discussed. You have, and on the screen also you can see, you have LLMs, you have diffusion models, and you have multi-model models. Now I want to generate customer support. No, LLMs. Customer support. Only customer support generation. I need not use multi-model. Multi-model is when you are dealing with multiple inputs. We are not using for customer support, right? Automating customer support means only LLMs. Suppose if I want to generate a dynamic content, marketing content, what is that? Which one I have to use? Generate marketing content. What I have to use? LLM is not alone answer. You need to use diffusion models also, because while creating the marketing content, you will be using image creation also along with the text generation also. So it is LLMs plus diffusion models, right? Now you want to create a intelligent assistant. What you have to use? You have to build one intelligent assistant. What you will do? What you have to use? No, code model is wrong. Yeah, multi-model model. Because you are giving an input to the agent, text also, image also, and then you are giving the even speech also. So multi-model model only can do that. So that is what is called the right model you have to use. So now you see Copilot or Gemini or Claude is not. See, these are all the applications using the models. When I'm using Copilot also, when I'm using Claude also, I'm using Gemini also, I will use all these. I'll use LLMs, I'll use diffusion models, I'll use multi-models and code generation modes also, right? So we are not specific to AI applications. See, Copilot is an application which is using a model, right? Then Gemini is an application using the model. We are not talking about that. What model to be used for what? That is what we are discussing. So that is where you will be able to understand. Now, again, let us summarize that. Pre-built models and custom models and custom models. So custom models, whatever LLMs are, these are already pre-built models. You can customize them if you want. So pre-built is general uses, custom is for specialized usages you can do. So that is how you can use the models. And now I hope you have got a clarity what is basically the models you can use, right? So whether you are using Copilot or using any other tools, you will be using all the models. Wherever you go, the model name will be there, right? Like a Sonnet Claude, one use Opus, and you have GPT-4 or GPT 4.0. these are all the models, and these models will be used, all of them. And these models are actually named as either LLMs or diffusion or code model or multimodal. So that is what you need to understand, not application. You can use anywhere then. So then that is the business value understanding of generative AI. So models clarity should be there. Then you will go to the next level. So that is about the models. Now let us understand the cost driving. What are the cost driving factor? So because whenever you are actually using any model, you have different models are available, and every model will have its own uh, efficacy level and efficiency level, so that accordingly the money also will be spent. So how their models are used, it will be available within those applications. For example, in Copilot, GitHub Copilot, there you will see, let me share you. I think I will be able to show you that. If I go to my chat window, you see this Claude Haiku 4.5 1x. And if you look at, that will be information will be given. Faster and most compact Claude model, ideal for quick response and simple tasks. So now each chat message counts 1x toward your premium request quota. Suppose I have 100 credits. So one message is equal to 1 credit. But again, that is what is the cost matters. That is what I'm trying to say. When to use, when to select which model depends upon the costing. So now here, some other models are there. For example, if I go to GPT, I think now GPT also has become 1x, but and in some, I mean, earlier I've seen some models there, you can see that it is 0.5x or 0.33x. That means it is not using completely. It is using only that portion of your one credit, and it is making you to use it further. But currently it is GPT-4, 5, GPT-5, all are free only. Why? Because I have not taken upgraded version. Suppose if I upgraded myself, all these GPT related models will be free. It will be written free. That means you can use n number of credits, right? But when you come to the premium, for example, this Claude Haiku will be a premium one, even then also. Then maybe that time it will become not 1x, it will become 0.33x. Depends. We need to understand that when you have use an upgradation. So that is what is about. I'm talking about the cost. So that cost is involved in it. So because it's a strategic investment, it's not a technological upgradation. So okay, I know generative AI, so I know the technology is not that you need to use it. While you are using it, you are actually doing an investment. So and then you have to manage it carefully. Otherwise, you are going beyond your budget. So there is one small in the generative AI, one math is there that for every $3.7, sorry, other way around. For every $1 you are investing, you need to gain $3.7 for every $1. So that is one mathematic. That is what is the optimum level of getting out, right? So if I'm using $1, I need to get almost $3 to $4 benefit I need to get. Then I'm actually getting the real rate of sorry, not rate of interest, it is return on investment, right? So that is object. Now, what are the cost drivers in Microsoft 365 and what are the cost drivers in Azure AI? You need to understand. Now, Microsoft 365 Copilot is a subscription model. So no, there is no additional cost. So it's an add-on application. I mean, if you take normal Microsoft 365 Copilot chat, there is no cost. It is just along with the Microsoft 365 license, it will come. But if you go to the Microsoft 365 for applications or Copilot Studio, it's a separate license. It's an add-on to your licenses, but it is predictable on monthly basis. And your annual costs also very much predictable so that it is taken care of. So you need not crossing your budget limits. And then it is bundled with the license. So there is no problem. You can do the data integration. It is part of your Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And then you can actually use it very effectively. So that is the cost driver in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Whereas if you go to the Azure AI, why Microsoft 365 Copilot is a bundled and comparatively with Azure AI is better? Reason, it is pre-built. You need not do anything extra development. You need not customize it, and you can just add your additional features and automatically it is generated. And that is why there it is a subscription model, and accordingly the costing also will be taken care. It's bundled with the license itself, so there is no additional cost. But whereas the Azure AI, you need to do the model training also. For that, you require certain license. And then you need to have some specialized CPU, I mean GPU also, or a specialized hardware also. Usage will be tokenized, and you can add more tokens to get more usage, right? So accordingly, you can utilize it, and infrastructure cost will be there, and you need to have a talent also, separate people, separate technical team you need to adopt. So when you are using Azure AI, your costs are more than Microsoft Copilot. So you need to understand which one you want to use. Now let us understand a few very quick questions and answers. Now the primary purpose of Microsoft 365 Copilot is, it is an embedded AI into the productivity applications for the end users, so that no other development is there inside. But Azure AI is to build and scale custom generative AI solutions. So that is why it is more costing, right? So why to use Microsoft Copilot Studio? Copilot. It is basically quick return on investment, and you have a quick productivity gain, minimal setup. Whereas in Azure AI, you have full control over the models, infrastructure, and cost optimization also. But yes, it is more costing. You can control the models. You can further train the models, and you need to have some additional infrastructure in terms of human talent, and also the software, hardware. And then you can optimize the cost, but definitely the cost will be more than Microsoft Copilot 365 Copilot. What is the cost model for Microsoft 365 Copilot? It is subscription based, and it is predictable pricing. You know what are you spending. But in Azure AI, it is pay as you go. It's a tokenized billing. Of course, there also you can forecast it, but it can go out of your hand if you don't use it properly. Then data preparation is very minimal in Microsoft 365 Copilot, whereas in Azure AI, you will use the RAG. So we'll discuss that what is RAG in a while, and that is how you can understand. So now let us understand what is a token. These are the units of text processed by the AI model. Remember, in the beginning, we discussed a dog barking on a cat. One token, dog is again tokenized, cat tokenized, bark tokenized. So these are all the tokens, and those tokens are processed with an IDs. Now that will become an interaction. So each interaction with a model will consume the tokens. And these are also we can call as a credits also. And then the number of tokens you are using, then you are actually incurring the cost accordingly. So that is the reason, suppose you are using regular chat GPT, for example, or regular Copilot, after some time, it'll ask you to stay for a while, because it will be restored after some time, maybe tomorrow or maybe next month kind of. Reason, you have consumed all the tokens. So that is what is the token. So you can use Copilot and Azure AI together. We discussed about it. So when you want to create a market content, first you ask Azure AI to do the market content generation. Then using the Copilot, you can actually convert into a proper readable content, and it will make your things easy. So any questions now? Okay. Now let us understand the next one is okay, understanding the challenges and opportunities. See, what is a challenge, what is the opportunity, you need to understand much more carefully. Okay. This opportunity will not come upfront. It will come when you know how to deal with it. Right. So we will understand that. Basically, when you are using generative AI, it is helping you to deliver personalized experiences or automating certain processes, etc. But the problem is a lot of risk is involved. The first risk is it is going to sometimes may give incorrect or a fabricated response, because it is producing information based on your input and it is giving some answer to you. Sometimes it will looks very factually very right and very reasonable, but if you go to the fact finding, it is really wrong and completely fabricated. For example, recently I have asked in one of the model, which is a free model, about one analytical tool, how to create this formula. And it is very confidently given one nice answer. It has constructed the formula. If you look at the formula first time, you think, okay, this is right. But if you want to use it in that application, you will end up into problem. Then I asked a question, this is not possible, and it is giving me answer, yes, I know you are right, this is wrong. So that is what is what happening. It will give a fabricated response. Now that will actually uh, not give you any confidence or a trust on the AI output. So then definitely it is going to be very challenging for you. For example, in the healthcare, finance, or legal services, if you generate any inaccurate information, will be very expensive. If the mistake will be very expensive, maybe that is going to be your reputational damage also. So there, what we need to take care. So that is where I'm not talking about how to make this challenge into opportunity. Now you can turn this challenge into an advantage by investing some fact checking system, and then retrieval augment generation. That is what is RAG. RAG means before answering, go back and check the facts and come back. For example, you're using my GitHub Copilot. So in the GitHub Copilot, you have an option to create instructions. And in that instructions, you can create some knowledge base also. You can tell, please be polite. Please don't give unnecessary answers. And please use this website to give answers. While using your general knowledge, please use these websites and then give answer. Those kind of additional fact checking systems you generate. I mean, just giving small example. The RAG will be activated. That is retrieval augmented generation. So retrieval augment generation means basically it is before it has already generated answer, but it is not giving that answer to you. It has retrieved the information, but it is going back to that particular instruction or knowledge base, checking if this answer with that particular document are matching or not. And then it will give you only verified information so that your answer will be good. So now that is where you need to understand, okay, this will give an incorrect information. So let me do it. Let it do the incorrect information, but let it check and then further do the analysis or research and give me the right answer. So that is where, as a business analyst, sorry, as a business leader, you need to understand the real value of the challenge. Challenge is a value for you because it is doing something where you can make a cutoff so that it will not do that and it will do something else that is giving a knowledge to it and it will give the answer to you. So that is about when you are dealing with incorrect or fabricated responses. Next is reliability. Basically, the consistency of your AI output. Remember, sometime back we discussed about it. Generative AI will produce new content. That is what we said. It is not AI, it is generative AI. Generative AI is always generating a new content. So that is the reason whenever you write the same prompt multiple times, the answer will be multiple types. It will not give the similar answer because it is predicting and then it is giving something to you. Now this is variable in terms of all these three results, and this variable nature will give a problem to us, and we may not trust it for that very this thing. So this is basically disrupting us in terms of decision making or workflow automation. So now how to take care of it? Now we can improve the reliability. So with the fine-tuned models or prompt engineering, that is where you understand the concept of prompt engineering. So we'll discuss about prompt engineering in a while. So, I mean, it's very simple, but you need to understand the methodology of prompt engineering. And along with the prompt engineering, you need to create some guidelines or domain specific standards. Again, that can be provided as a knowledge so that it will automatically not repeat, but it will give you the consistent answers and which you can bring the opportunity out of the challenge. Now, the next challenge is data privacy. So now data privacy will be a problem, but you need to create certain what do you call privacy preventing models. We have to use it where in Azure AI that capabilities are there, and where Microsoft Copilot also those capabilities are there. So you need to put certain efforts so that it will make your brand is reputed and also your customers are talk to you confident, right? So that is about this thing. So now let's jump into next activity. But before that, if any questions, please do let me know. Any questions? Yeah. Now building effective generative AI solutions in our organization. So you need to understand certain methodology. The first one is understanding the prompt engineering. That is the very first thing. So let me change the slide. So first thing is understanding the prompt engineering. Basically, there are two types of prompts are there. One is system prompts and user prompts. That is what you need to understand. So if you are writing a prompt, if you write the system prompt and I mean, there are other techniques also. This is one of the technique I'm telling, and you get better answers. Especially when I use a prompt, how I write, that is what I'm showing now. So system prompt will basically make your AI model with a role play. And user prompt is what exactly you want to have an outcome. That is what important, right? System prompt will give the AI to be ready with the role play. Okay, it is understanding what it has to think like. And user prompt will help AI to understand what is the result it has to give. For example, here I will just go to my Copilot again. Now already we have done that. If you just see my first prompt, you are you are reporting to CFO and you are data analyst. That is called a system prompt. So I'm making the system to be ready with a role play that what you are. So think like, so you're actually creating that thought process metrics that you are a CFO, you are an analyst and reporting to the CFO. So what need to be thought? So it will create a kind of readiness. Then the next one is called user prompt. So this is what I want. Now, that is where the Copilot will think in a proper manner and start giving you the answers in more consistently. That is one way of doing. So why prompt engineering matters? If your prompt is not effective or not proper, you will get irrelevant results, inaccurate information, and you are wasting time. You would have experienced while using even certain generative AI solutions where you are writing a question, but answer is coming something, you are asking another question, that answer is coming something like that. So that is where you need to understand. So another one more technique for prompt engineering is you need to make sure that you have given the context properly. And suppose you are creating a new question, you start a new session instead of using the current session. Reason, your prompt engineering, even though the prompt is very nice, the context what you're already provided, which is not relevant to your current question, maybe you're writing 2, 3 questions in the same window, then generative AI has a capability of remembering the history and is trying to give you the answer accordingly. So that is how you can understand, right? So make sure that when you are doing it, you are giving the prompt accordingly. So that is one important thing is that you need to create a well-crafted prompt engineering. So basically, you need to make sure that you are writing the question 2, 3 times and understand what can give a better answer. You need to understand. Maybe that will come out of experience only. So those things we will do. We'll do one thing. It's 12:30. I think. I mean, we are continuously doing it in 10:30 to almost like 2 hours are over. Maybe a 1.5 hour or whatever. Let's take a small break and then we will catch up in another 10 minutes. I mean, we will continue, right? So that it will give a gap to you and also some breathing time to think about it. So let's do that.
Maybe then we can take a 1 o'clock till 1 o'clock is the session, so we can take a question and answers post break.
No, session is till
What do you
1 or
say?
2.
Till 1.
Session is to 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock.
1 till 1.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I thought it's 2 o'clock. Okay, not a problem. So we'll take a 5 minutes break and then we'll continue so that we will discuss few more points and then we'll finish the prompt engineering and we'll take the questions, right? So let us take just 5 minutes break. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so let's begin now. So I will show you one quick slide of one prompt engineering subject. Then I will show you one example using Microsoft Copilot Chat and also Microsoft Copilot in Excel. Then you'll understand how to deal with that, right? So then those two examples will give you an idea how to go with Copilot. So now let me jump into my next slide. So now to get the best response, it's an important to focus on some key elements when phrasing your Copilot prompt. So now you have a context, you have a goal, you have a source, and you have expectation. If you follow the prompt like this, it'll be easy. So now what is the goal? What response do you want? For example, I used to say one funny word to people. When I say my boss, I'm going my home, he'll say yes. When I ask him, can I go home? He'll say no. So that is what is actually you need to understand when you're using a chat agent, what I feel, right? So our generative AI. So the goal is what response you want actually. The context is why you need to, why you need it and anything involvement is there. Then what is the information sources you are providing or Copilot should use? And how should Copilot respond to best meet your expectations? These are the expectations. So now this is what is the effective prompt. If I click on that, so generate three or five bullet points. That is what you are starting. To prepare me for a meeting with client X to discuss their phase 3 plus brand campaign. So that is your context. And the source is focus email and team chats since June. So it is reading all the information. And then please use simple language so I can get get up to the speed quickly. So that is your prompt. That is what prompt is, right? So I will show you the one small example so that we can jump into the questions and answers. Let me open Copilot. So you can do that, whatever activity I'm giving now, you can do here also. So it is work and web. I'll select work. Then I'll just open one file. Then upload one work content. So I say, sorry. So I have one GST data set. It's a very dummy data set. So this was created for those finance folks who wanted to do the kind of analysis also. This GST data set has got all kinds of data, sales registers, purchase register, all the details, all different related form related data is there. Now I'm asking the question. You are a GST analyst, right? So now let us go to that slide. What is that telling? This is a slide. Jump into, yeah. So now generate 3 to 5 bullet points. Goal is that. So now the goal is I need a GST reconciliation. That is my goal. And the context is file provided. Since I've given the context within the file, I need not tell that, but file attached. Then what is that? Source is also that only. Source will be, if I have any other source, any email or any other context I have to give, but currently I need not do that. And finally, I'm asking that the expectation is make a PowerPoint and make a final reconciliation in a separate spreadsheet and send one email to my email ID with summary only. I should be little clear with the errors. Make sure that grammatically no errors are there. So now this is what. So I'm just giving that system prompt also. Then I'm giving the goal. Then I'm giving the context. Then I'm not given anything else, whether any other source to be looked at, but I'm telling that what is my expectation as well. So this is what if you write, and if I just click on that, so it is actually generating the answer, and it will give me all those things in a very small time. I'm telling you, this GST dataset reconciliation takes good amount of time, maybe 3 to 4 hours, because they need to go several places, right? So it's giving me only email body. Unfortunately, it didn't send the mail. Okay, you tell that you can copy paste in the Outlook and all. It's just giving me the email ID. So not a problem. We can do that. But yeah, we can improvise it as an agent. We can improvise it and we can do that. Suppose if I go to the GST final reconciliation Excel, it will give me the complete answer. So it has done the reconciliation and giving me that what is the category, what is the this thing. But yeah, it is not doing that effectively because it is using the resources accordingly. This is one activity. I will show you the same thing in another activity. I'll just open that file itself. This is the second one where you are taking the add-on. I'm selecting the, say, maybe this data set. And there are several data is there. I'll just ask the same question. I'll go to my Copilot. I'll just copy this. Now here I need not give any context. The context is already there. The context is already there. Only thing I need to just ask the question. File attached is not required. And in a separate sheet, not spreadsheet, I'll write sheet. Spreadsheet means it will maybe create a separate file also and send one email to my email ID with summary only. I'm just clicking on this. Now this will give more accurate answer. Because again, what model to use, which application do you have to use? These things you need to think. That is the reason I'm showing you how to deal with it. See, it is now thinking and working on it. It is asking me some question. So one is for the reconciliation, would you like to include both? I say one, yes. Two, for the email, I'll just give the email ID. Then what matching keys should be there? I'll say 3 all. I want all. And then I'm just clicking on that. So it is now interacting with me because it's an agent. Once the answer is over, in 2 minutes, we'll start our questions and answers. So now this task will take 3 to 4 hours to analyze it and do a lot of hard work. Sometimes you don't have information, everything. See that? It has created a complete list of analysis. Now, where is the missing things it has created? So we can see that this much amount is not matching. and whatever is the problem, everywhere it is written. Now it is actually created a summary as well. And then it will send an email, right? So I think that is all I would like to showcase now. Anyway, the email will come, you know what exactly happens. So now I want you to ask questions, then we can proceed. Yeah, now questions. Anyone? Yeah, please go ahead. You can type the question in the chat. Please type your question, everyone. Please type your question in the chat so that I can answer that.
Once we have shared the feedback link, request you to give us the feedback and mention your correct exact name so that we can issue the certificates. You will get it today. So there is a question, Mr. Vijay.
So the GST analysis what you showed correct currently, if in case we have asked Copilot in Excel to analyze and give suggestions, as in are we are on the right track or we need improvement in the filing GST. Yeah, so you need for that you need to give a context so that the current guidelines of GST or you need to give the GST related website or any kind of reference. That is what is context and expectation. In the expectation, along with the context you provide, yes, it will give you the answer. It will give you the right answer. Yeah, because it is understanding. As of now, I do not have any example as such, but yes, I have shown you the scenario here. It can do. You need to give the context properly.
There's a question from Prateek as well.
Is there a difference between Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot? Yes, there are. What kind of model they are using? So again, suppose if you want a image capability along with the text, for example, certain models will not be able. For example, in if you go to Copilot, in Copilot you can select two type models. One is Sonnet model, another is Gemini model. Sonnet model can handle only text, but Gemini model can handle multi-model, both. That means you can understand the image as well as it can understand the text. So it depends. what are they using? Gemini most of the time use multimodal. Perplexity, what is the purpose of that? Which model it is using, you need to understand. When you go, there is an option to select a model. Copilot also will select different models, right? For example, in Excel, when I use the option, let me share my screen, I believe. If you see, there is an option to check my model. So currently this is using auto model, but I can use GPT 5.5, then Claude, then Claude Opus 4.7. So it is basically automatically using one model, any one of them, and it is giving the answer. I can very specifically select it. Now you need to understand what Claude Opus 4.7 will do. What are the capabilities are there? So that research you need to do. From there, you need to select. So accordingly, see, Perplexity is a tool, is an application, but uses the model. Which model it is using? You need to have the clarity.
Any other questions?
Gemini. Gemini is the most advanced as of now. But again, the cost also is there accordingly. But we are talking about Copilot, so let us not go beyond Microsoft. Microsoft also used Opus, I think that one. Copilot. It is integrated within the Excel. You need to have a separate standalone add-on license. It will be used.
So there's a question from Sabhyata and Umar.
You can create a PPT using Excel. No, it will again sometimes may give a answer saying that it may give you the steps only. For example, you've seen that it is giving you the steps to create an email. Better if you want to create a PPT, upload an Excel file in PowerPoint, and there you ask a question, then accordingly you will give the right answer. So that is why the context, where to use, when to use is more important. Instead asking from Excel, create a PowerPoint, but give a Excel in PowerPoint application, create a presentation, it will do that.
So maybe we can take them through the Microsoft Learn website as well, Mr. Vijay.
But this doesn't have any this thing, right? It doesn't have any self-assessment tool. You don't have just
Yes.
only the
Learning
whatever
and
whatever link you are sharing, they need to go through. Only course is available.
yes.
They don't have any pre-assessment. You can share the link with them so that they can
Yes.
go and get the badges. Yeah.
Correct. So this is the program link. You have to log into Microsoft Learn, create your own, user ID and password, use your personal email ID. And then you can go through the self-paced program and you can get the badges and the trophies. So please use this, and I'll also share with you the code so that there is a redemption code. Once you complete the self-paced learning, you can claim your badges and trophies using this code. So I request you all, please copy the link as well as the code. And also once, so we'll be conducting similar programs. So there will be some advanced programs also that we'll be conducting. So we will be, reaching out to you through our LinkedIn as well as through our website and other social media channels. So you can follow us and keep yourself updated. There's one more question. Can we automate our email through Copilot by minimum human intervention?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that where you have to create an agent. So you need to understand what is the agentic this thing. So that is Copilot Studio. You can create it and you can automate. So email based on a trigger. If any such event occurs, that email should go. That can be done. So there you need to understand the agentic workflows and agent Copilot Studio agents. So that was discussed in the last session.
Yes. So this Microsoft Learn, this is through UniTxt Pro. So you can go to the website, create your own credentials, and then go through the self-paced program. Use this code to get the badges and the trophy. That could be added in your professional, profile, that you have done this particular course or you have learned about it, and we will send you a separate participation certificate. And maybe we'll take a group selfie if possible, whoever is able to switch on their cameras, please do that. It's as a memory for all of us that we have been part of this learning journey today. I'm allowing an access to the camera to all. Just see whoever possible. It will be great. Be part of. Hope you're getting the access. Just allow me a couple of minutes. I'm just giving the access. Pratik, I have opened Pratik, Ravi. Whoever possible, please join us. Sabhyata. Switched on. Yeah, thank you. Camera is disabled. Pratik, I think I have opened for you. Let me just check again. Yes. Thank you. Hope Purnima, you're able to take a screenshot or a clip of all of us for a memory.
Yes, I would request everyone to just like on their cameras so that I can take a screenshot.
Yeah, and just allowing them, just
Yes.
disabling their camera. Sridhar Subramaniam, Omar, thanks for being participative. Is there anyone else whom I have missed? Sabhyata, I have given the access. Shantanu, Ravi, Manoj Kumar, Manali. Thanks again for being participative. Virender. Yeah. Sridhar, just allow me. Sridhar, yes. Yes, Sridhar, the access is given. Just check. Hope you are able to take working for Manoj. Just a minute, Manoj. Hope it's working now. Yes. Yes. So thank you all. Thank you very much for joining today's session. Please reach out to us. Please feel free to give all the feedbacks. We are, we are very thankful and we appreciate for taking out time on the weekend and, joining us for this 2.5 hour session. And we'll be keep on interacting with you and sharing with you many more such webinar that we'll be arranging. Thank you, Vandanika. Thanks. Thanks for joining. Let's try again, Pratik. Manoj also. Yes. Yeah. So thank you, all of you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining and have a great day ahead with your families and with your family and friends. Have a great day. Hope you have all given the feedbacks.